Hi everyone. Today I would like to talk about value stream management. The first thing you need to know about value stream management, or VSM, is that it means a lot of things to a lot of people. So everyone has a different understanding of it, and everyone has a different context in which they'd like to apply it. So if someone says they're interested in VSM, ask them some questions, figure out exactly what they're trying to do. Do a little digging, and that will really help frame the conversation for both of you going forward. With that said, at its core, VSM is about identifying all the steps that you need to go through to deliver value to the customer, and then optimizing that and making some changes so that you can better deliver value to the customer, whether that means delivering more features, delivering features faster, delivering at higher quality or at lower cost, whatever that means to you. It's about optimizing the delivery of value to the end user. Common scenarios might include a development manager might want deeper insights into the DevOps lifecycle so they can identify waste, things where the project might be getting stuck, and then unblock those so they can optimize their team's deployment velocity. An executive or a portfolio manager might want a top-down, high-level view of multiple projects or products and all of the blockers there so they can do what they need to do to unblock that, keep it moving, and maybe make some decisions about priority. And then a person really in any role might not be sure what they need yet, but they know that VSM is important. They know that visibility is something they're going to want, and they don't want to be locked into a system that doesn't give them options and flexibility going forward. In all three of those cases, the answer to do we do it is yes. And on top of that, since we are a single application that manages all the work that's actually being done, rather than some of these other VSM systems that sit outside and report on it, since we're actually where the work is happening, we have some unique advantages, which I'll talk about in a second. Now let's start with the most common use case, that's wanting to identify sources of waste in your DevOps lifecycle. Value stream analytics is our high-level representation of the value stream. Everyone who has a GitLab account can access value stream analytics. This is probably most appropriate for a development manager or a product manager who's interested in time to value and how to optimize that or condense that. Out of the box, we give you a number of default stages. They allow you to track things like lead time and cycle time and other DevOps metrics. We break that down into some pretty granular substages that we've identified as key segments of the end-to-end workflow, so that just by looking at this, you can get a quick overview of how those larger measurements break down and very quickly diagnose the source of waste. In this case, my total time from creating an issue to deploying is only about 5 hours, and that sounds pretty good at first. And it might be, but if we look here, the majority of that time, about 3 hours of that 5 hours, is in code review. That might be an easy fix. And if I can allocate the proper resources or change some processes, I might be able to get that down to an hour and double the rate at which we can deploy code. So that's potentially a really big opportunity to address some waste. Now, the majority of our customers use the predefined stages and they're quite happy with them, but they aren't a perfect fit for every project or every customer. So we've made it really easy to create and measure custom stages. So I will switch to a project for which I have access so you can see that. So here we have the same kind of mapping. We have different data in there. If I don't like a stage, I can hide it. And if I want to add a stage, I click Add a Stage. I give it a name, select a start event. Let's say time an issue is created until the time an issue is associated with a milestone, because if someone associates it with a milestone, they're ready to begin work on it. Maybe that's something I want to measure. It's important to my company. It's very easy for me to do that. And finally, since we're also the place where work is happening, if I see a problem I need to fix, and you'll see this again in other parts of the system, but I can do so with just one click. So if we go back to where we were, let's say we drill down into code review, and We see that this has been in there for 15 hours and 27 minutes, and that just seems like a long time. I can click on that. From here, I can access any collaboration and a versioned history of everything that's gone on. I can, assign it to someone else. I can, mention myself and say, hey, Cormac, why don't you unblock this? I can do whatever I need to do to actually take action and make something happen at the source. So I don't lose time. I don't have to take notes to a meeting and talk to someone else. I can make the change right there. And that's something that we can do. It's an important differentiator because we are that source of truth. Now let's look at a different use case that really shows off how we can surface just the information you need to do your job, but then quickly let you, whoever you are in the organization, wherever your default working environment might be, quickly let you jump down into the work items themselves and make a change just like we did before. So in this case, let's say I am a chief marketing officer or a portfolio manager who's managing a bunch of different products, and I want an overview of how multiple projects are progressing toward our quarterly goals and what's on track. So in that case, for my typical starting point, I might be interested in a roadmap view of high-level epics. So what we have here is a list of epics in the marketing department that match a string of use case. Those are our go-to-market campaigns. In this case, I've opened the use case GTM overview epic, which contains child epics for each of our campaigns. Now I can see here that the continuous integration use case is 50% complete. Now that might be all the information that I need, but if it's not, I can click down into that epic for more information. Now when I do that, I can see immediately that one issue needs attention. And I can see that that issue is in the CI resource page. So I open that up, scroll down, I see it's in the GitLab CI solution overview. I click in there, and there it is, CI roadmap. Very quickly, just about 2 levels down, I can get to the actual work item. I can see what's going on, just as I did before. I can comment on that. I can, assign it a new label. I can assign it to someone else to manage that. I can do what I need to do to unblock that. And again, that's something that is very, very difficult to do if you have a system of systems that's looking into multiple work systems. We're one single application. We have all of the data in one place. And so everything's there right out of the box. There's no need to integrate things. There's no need to worry about what you're going to be able to do or not be able to do through an API. It's one single system. So again, that's an advantage. And then finally, we have Insights. Insights allows you to track and visualize anything that can be labeled. So here's an example of some custom dashboards that we are using today in strategic marketing. And we're tracking the type and status of requests that come in month to month. So we have an understanding of what our workload looks like and how that's changing over time. Likewise, here is an example of a product marketing dashboard that we're using to track things like how many requests are internal versus external, where are we focusing our energies, what teams are we working with, are we working with analyst relations, are we working with sales, are we working with the web team. The important thing to remember about Insights is that if you can label it, you can track it. So things like severity of bugs over time, or critical customer requests, or if you were using scope labels to model a workflow, let's say you had stage 1 equals writing, stage 2 equals edit, stage 3 equals design, it would be very easy to visualize that workflow and see where things are being stuck, for example. So again, you have essentially infinite flexibility, because if you can put a label on it, you can track it in Insights as well. So in summary, if you are asked about value stream management, 3 things to remember. Number 1, yes, we can. If someone wants to do just about anything with the data inside of GitLab, the answer is almost certainly yes, and it is almost certainly going to be very easy for them to visualize that and do something with it. Number 2, dig deeper. Learn what they're looking for because they might be thinking of something slightly different than you're thinking of. It's important to align everyone on the same definition and the same goals early on so you can work toward a solution with them. And then number 3, we are not just a mapping tool. We basically put the management and value stream management because since we are a single application and a single source of truth, we actually let you take action on your insights right away. Thank you very much.